How's everyone today? Starting to get a little chilly out there. Hopefully that's a good thing where you're from. Thanks for joining this stream today. So today we're going to be taking a look at this thing. This is the wireless mic that I use for all my live streams. This was sent to me by a Patreon. You know who you are. And so this thing is the pocket transmitter, and then there's actually another unit that sits next to my mixer over there that receives. And this thing has an issue. Oh, yeah, should be. Give me a second. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Should be this one. How about now? Is that better? I'm pretty sure this is it. Oh. Just gonna figure it out. Give me a second here. How about this? Is this any better? Should be a little bit better now. I have to say that I find the Windows 10 updated settings menu is terrible. Is it? I just need some feedback. Yeah, of course. Of course it's appropriate. Okay. People are hearing me. That's good. So yeah, just they buried the sound settings down in a different menu. And on top of that, I usually use my mic through my audio interface, but now this is literally going down a long cable all the way back to the computer. So, okay, thanks for joining me today. So this is a mic. This is the AKG SR450 and the AKG PT450. That's the pocket unit. Something is cranked. I don't have a choice, really. This is an unamplified microphone. Hang on, one second. Might be just a little bit better positioning now. We'll see. But anyways, yeah, so this PT450 has a major problem, and it's that it's not made for rechargeable batteries. This is what I mean. So this here is a rechargeable 1.5 volt battery, and I also have a regular battery somewhere. But the deal is that the max voltage on one of these batteries is like 1.3, 1.4 volts. The max one on here is just over 1.5. And so this thing has a little bit lower voltage, which this thing interprets as a dead battery. So even though this thing has a lot more energy than this one lasts longer in there. So I need to do something else about it. So let me just see if we can demonstrate the problem here. So we're just going to pretend as though this power supply here is a battery. Okay, so we're going to set this to 1.5 volts. We're going to set the current to, yeah, I think half an amp should be plenty. Stop it. The wires aren't cooperating. Alright. So, current set, let's go, yeah, I think half an amp is fine. Alright, so if we turn this on, whoa, not 5 volts, 1.5 volts. Alright, so if we turn this on, so it turns on, and then we can turn this on, and there we go. So at 1.5 volts, this thing says it has 3 hours of battery. I don't know if you can, probably can't tell. There, see that? 3H has 3 hours of battery. And so that's fine, 1.5 volts. Now what happens if we drop the voltage just a little bit? 1.4 volts. Now it says 2 hours. There we go, 2H. And 1.3 volts. Now look, it just browned out. It's dead. So 1.3 volts is too little for this thing to work, but these batteries will work down to 1.1 volts, and in fact most of its energy is around that 1.3 and lower volts. Oh, LiPo batteries. Interesting. So I was looking at those. I was afraid that they may not have enough voltage. Turn this back up to 1.5, and this thing doesn't even recover. Look at that. You have to turn it off and then back on. That's a shame. Even still says low battery at 1.5. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, well, no good. So we're gonna have to figure out a solution. I really wish you wouldn't have said that, Johnny, because that would make this stream kind of useless. Let me share with you what my plan was. So, it would be nice to have more capacity too. This thing has 2,000 milliamp hours. So the plan was, oh, chaos. The plan was to use one of my viewers have sent these used batteries. These are 18650s. So they're the same batteries that you find in power tools, vape pens, and stuff like that. And these things were tested to, 1,900 milliamp hours, 1950 milliamp hours, but at 3.7 volts, when these things are at 1 point something volts. So you actually have more energy in here than in here, and these are top quality AA batteries. So one of these, and then you need some way to charge and discharge them safely so they don't like over discharge. Looking for my battery box now. Alright, here's my box O batteries. Yeah, the setting, so the setting would be nice to know, but the thing is, this is not a setting issue. It's literally browning out. It won't, like, telling me that the battery is low is one thing, but for it to actually stop providing, like, stop working, it's like unacceptable. I mean, at 1.3 volts, your standard battery still has about, I don't know, 30% of its life left. So maybe if it chimed or vibrated or something to tell you that it's time to change the batteries, but no, it just dies. So I got a battery holder here, so this thing will fit into here because there's no way it fits into there. It's way too big. Somewhere I have chargers for these things. Here's my box of chargers. So these are TP4056 modules. They do the I believe they do the charge and the discharge of lithium batteries, but they don't do the protection. Here, there's the one with protection. So this one here, this is TP4056 module, but it also has battery cell protection, so I'm going to use this one. So that's good. Although I do have protected cells somewhere. I'm going to check. I'm going to leave this out because I'm going to check. So far we've got a bigger battery with more power, which we can, stuff somewhere here. We have a holder for it. We also have a 3D printed holder, so we can use that as well. We have cell protection, so it won't over discharge and overcharge this. And we have the charging handled by a micro USB. So far we're getting better, but the thing is, this thing puts out 4.2 at its max down to 3 volts, 2.5 volts at its minimum. So we need to transform that to 1.5. Here's my power and regulators. So we need a DC to DC buck converter. I have a whole bunch of those that from before I standardized. So I got these tiny little guys, and I've got these guys as well. So you can decide from either of those. So that'll take the 3 volts up to 4.2 volts down to 1.5 for that. I also have some more options. Oh, I just keep smashing into everything. I have not made YouTube videos for quite a while, so I feel like a little bit like a fish out of water here. Ask Johnny Bergdahl. He's been complaining about my lack of videos for a bit. Oh. Here's my firebox. So I believe these cells here are actually protected. I believe they have protection on them already. Actually, they may not be protected. Well, they have a strip down the middle here. I don't remember if they're protected or not. I mean, I guess the simple way to find out is to measure them. You know, I can use these little lithium polymer batteries too, but the only thing is the charging that I have is only for single cells. These are dual cells, yeah, 7.4 volts. What about this? It's like a camera battery, 7.2 volts. This one has the protection built in. So that's an option too. Well, the live streams have been coming back, so every Monday, if you guys don't know, on my on twitch.tv/simpleelectronicsyt, I have been streaming Gran Turismo. What do you guys think? Yeah, see, look, this one's taller. I don't know if you guys get the right angle here. Very slightly taller. It might be protected, but either way, I can use these guys or any of the other junk ones I have in there. And the cool thing is, like, if I want to expand this, I could put 2 batteries if I want and hot swap them and all sorts of things. But yeah, that's the goal right now. So basically we're going to feed a cell like so. This is the positive here. Stuff that in there. So put a cell in here, and then we can attach it to this. Put a little on-off switch on this converter here, and then output this into here, and that'll make for a more stable experience. I could just put the whole thing in my pocket. What kind of car is that, Doug? Looks like a Beetle. Terrible. So right now I can just prototype this, and then I can even, you know, make a PCB for it and put the PCB on the back here. As long as it doesn't cover the antenna, that'd be good. And then even they have a little window in the back here, which I feel like you can pop out. And so if we pop out that little window, we can just connect it up through this side, and then strap it around this way, and we're good to go. You can even just screw it on. Ooh, doesn't feel right. There are contacts on the bottom here too. I guess those are for charging a rechargeable battery. I don't see where the wires go. Are we taking this apart? I guess we're taking this apart. Not a premium one, so you can't see the inside. Alright, here goes. So I actually really like this little unit. Wireless is the way to go for live streams. Okay, so that little window does come out, so we're not going to put that back in. Let's take a look here. Interesting. Microprocessor. The wire for this, look at that, the wire comes around this case here, extremely narrow over here, and then that looks like a temperature sensor to sense so that the temperature of the battery doesn't get too high. And then there's the negative lead that goes here. See that wire down there? I don't know if you can see. So the wire down here goes to here, and then this wire here comes over here, and then I'm sure it just goes through the PCB. This is soldered onto here. This here is soldered all the way there. It's also soldered to the connector down there. So we could make a connector that interfaces with this. Then there's, looks like a temperature sensor in here. Then this has a wire going out to here. So the positive, negative, and then between there and there is the temperature sensor. Can pull these out. Not easily. Interesting. Not very complicated, this thing. I mean, there's a lot of circuitry on it, probably just to pass RF tests. Neat. Okay. So that's all I really wanted, is take this window out so we can actually access the contacts from the back. Even solder onto there if we wanted to. Little thin wires. This adjuster here, that little knob, I'm not sure what it adjusts, but that little adjuster is visible through this little hole here. See that? You stick a little screwdriver in there. Neat. Alright, put these back in. So I like that. We can access the contacts through the back, which is nice. Like so. And because you can access the contacts from the back, we can even throw like an old battery in there with electrical tape on it and then just shove wires between them. And then that means that we can have this closed up like this, and this whole unit doesn't have to go anywhere. But I think in the end we're going to probably end up 3D printing like a fake cell that'll fit in here, and then with a screw through the back, or 2 screws through the back, it'll hold the backing on, which will be all our electronics, sort of like that. Maybe 2 of these, one there, then this board here, and this board here, and then we can have that all in one case. Do you think it's a brownout? Oh, maybe it's for brownout detection or brownout levels. Let's try. Yeah, 3D printed Me battery. I don't think it's the voltage for the brownout, but we'll see. All right, so okay, it says 3 hours now. Oh, it's maxed out in one direction. Well, it didn't change anything, so I don't think that's brownout. Yeah, no go. Okay. Seems to be maxed out like at the max of its range. All right. Well, it was a nice attempt. Okay. So what do we need here? We need to. What are our stream goals? So we need to pick. Oh my god. These pens, I tell you. I love them. They write well, but they dry out quickly. Pick a battery type. So I'm thinking, already know what that is, but that's okay. Tune DC converter. Okay. Pick battery holder. It's good. Figure out dummy battery. And then, yeah, I think that should, on off switch. I have to pick the switch and where we're going to put it, and then possibly design 3D printed case. Alright, so that's the stream goals for the whole day. May not have time to get all the way down, but we can at least do some experimentation. First and foremost, I want to make sure this thing is charged, and that it in fact charges and discharges. So let's see. Plug this in. Freaking chaos all over the place. Like so. Doug, do you know about AKG? Are they a decent company? I got this for free from a Patreon, so I'm not complaining either way, but I'm just interested to know if I have a high-end unit or a low-end unit. No pink LEDs. It's not a this is not a bit loony stream. Alright, so I do like that this will be able to shut completely like this. That'll be neat. And I think I'm going to use screws through here. The dummy battery it'll be what secures the backing onto it. I think I want a pair of these, because if you think a single one sitting here, I mean, it doesn't take up much more space to put two, right? So two is better than one. I can charge them in parallel. This Frankenstein thing is going to be perfect for live streaming. Alright. So let's see. Maybe I'll prototype on a little piece of proto board. Ooh, sure. My podcast is Rode, basically. So I've got the Rode pod mic, and I got a Behringer mixer, but I got the Rode boom arm as well. Just looking for my soldering stuff. Soldering. So I've got these horrible proto boards, not really big enough. Need something a little bit bigger. Even like I guess this could work if I fold over the contacts. You know what I mean? Like, if I fold the contacts over here, that might work. Maybe I will use this. Alright. Isn't everything sold separately on Mac, pretty much? So no, the only problem with using two of these in parallel is that I won't have any, each cell won't have protection. It'll be like the battery, the pack will be protected. So if one cell goes low, it might be problematic. We'll see. But yeah, I think if I fold over the tabs here and solder it down, I think it'll be fine. I think I might need to bring up my workspace to be a little bit closer to you folks. I should also check, see if this is actually charging. The board is heating, so some work is being done. Alright, let's see. Get you zoomed in a little bit. Could stand to go one box higher, I think. I keep these filament boxes, 3D printing filament boxes, because they make fantastic risers. There we go. That should work. All right. Okay, so we'll grab this thing here. I'm going to place the positive end. You can see that. Positive end on the same side. So positive is going to be north. Warm up my soldering iron. I'm going to up the temperature maybe about 390 Celsius, that is. So yeah, we'll try to bend these tabs over onto kind of like this end here, the very end of this. And we can put a little crazy glue if we want, but also what we can do is there's holes in here, and so we can just drill and put some little screws if we want as well. Yeah, something like that. All right. Gonna have to work a little harder to bend that. See if we can find some pliers. Sort of like that, and then bend that over. I have to bridge it with solder, I think. There we go, it's holding pretty well. And positive to the north. There we go. Please focus. There we go. Focus on this. Alright, this is some solder which was donated also by one of my Patreons. Some good old 6040 lead solder. That should work just fine. There we go. That should be permanent, never to be rent asunder. Alright, positive is still this side. Good thing I checked. And there we go. Place that about right. Double check that the positives are still on both the same side. Those are two negatives. Those are two positives. Go. There we go. Two solder joints. So now the question is, in between here, is there enough room for this module? Oh my god, it fits just barely. That's awesome. So I have to use this specific module because it's the last one of these I have. I need to put that on the list somewhere to order. Neat. So I like working positive up, so I'm going to put the USB connector there. Alright, so now the question is, are the wires going to line up to these holes? So I can disconnect this. Okay, I'm actually going to cut the wires so I can actually use the wires to connect to the board. Okay, so do these line up with the holes? The answer is no. Also not a problem, because I can use long bits of wire and that'll work too. So let me get some wire. My assorted lengths of wire. somewhere in here I should have some solid core wire. If not, I have to extract it. Yeah, in here. It's very thin though. Could use a little bit longer stuff. Oh, this is wire I cut from. Yeah. So I can use like wire from a PC power supply. It's a little bit thicker. Might be better. A little bit harder to work with too though. This is just a prototype though. Yeah, we'll use that. Okay. So how do we do this? I guess we solder wires onto here and then solder it onto there, giving us enough space. We need enough space to put the buck boost, or the buck converter, the voltage converter down here. So there's going to be enough room. That's not a problem. But how do we like space it upwards? Probably use like cardboard or something. Oh yeah, we need to set this up too. So, okay. So let's do that. We'll set this up. This is a tiny little thing. Hopefully, since it only uses like half an amp, this thing should be just fine and not overheat. Alright. That's going to be a bit of a pain though. These contacts are tiny. Besides the in. So the in is down here. Oh, we need an on-off switch too, because we have to switch this thing off or else it's going to drain the batteries over time. I think I like the idea of a big, like, flappy toggle. So let's see if I can find one of those. Switches. Got micro switches, that's not going to do. Got big arcade switches, keyboard switches. Here we go, these little toggles. There, a nice little clicky toggle. What's neat is I'll get to use this prototype while I design the PCBWay one. Okay, so basically how the wiring is going to go, batteries here are going to wire into these two wires, then these two pads on the outsides are going to wire into this, but in the path of one of those, probably the positive, we're going to put this switch, and then these two out are going to go into here to these two contacts and probably a dummy battery. So that's actually pretty simple. I do want to drill in here and make these more solid though. So that's going to be a little bit later in the stream Might have some little hardware you can go through here. Okay, so let's set this one. I need my multimeter, and I need some test leads. Oh. The Veneris Fluke 179. So in is on this side, out is on this side. The little adjuster is here, little thing. So here we go. This is sketchy because everything is so tiny. And so we need to put 4.2 volts. Put half an amp, that's fine. Now we have to deal with this. Alright. So right now should have 0 volts. It is 0 volts. Now we can turn on the power supply and we'll see what it's set to. 2 volts. Which Discord do they find you to DM you? Someone just randomly asked me how to fix their car on one of my comments in a video that had nothing to do with cars. That was interesting. .6. Ooh, I don't know what the minimum voltage is going to be. I think 1.7 might be a bit high. So sensitive down low. Which Discord are they from? Because you can tell when you have mutual Discords with people. This thing is so finicky. Might have to just oh, 1.9, that's too high. I think I need to put a load on this. because I don't know if it's going to give me accurate results without a load. Okay, 1.5. Yeah, Doug, but that's not really what he's saying. I think what he's saying is that, like, you and I know each other. Some rando that he doesn't even know contacted him. I have a feeling this thing is not very stable at low voltages. I may need to grab one of the fatter ones that I have. Might be a better idea. Although I do like the form factor of this. Maybe I can just desolder that potentiometer and use a different one. Looks like it's going to be a right pain in the butt to do, though. We can try it. Look how small this thing is. So desoldering those little pads there. Is there a data sheet? I don't even know what these are. DSN Mini 360. Let's try one of the fatter ones and see if it ends up better. Here's the ultimate question. Does this fat one fit in between my cells, though? Oh, yes. This is like made to be. Look at that. The cells are like literally lined up with these little things, and both the modules fit perfectly in there. So this one I actually put a crimped connector on, which I used to really like doing. I don't have much use for connectors on this project though. So gone it goes. Okay, positive. Negative is this one. Positive is this one. Right? Right. I used to use these things to power my lights 3 of them. Okay. So what do we got here? So negative be this guy, and positive would be this guy. Just make sure these two don't touch, even though I got a half amp limit, so it's not too bad. Contact 3.658. Ugh. The potentiometer, it does nothing. Does it have a minimum boost voltage? What's going on here? Or buck voltage? Oh, you dummy. I have the in and the out backwards. There we go. In positive over here. In negative over here. That makes a lot more sense. Yeesh. Yeah, I wish 1.1. This wouldn't be a problem if I could use 1.1. Damn, I just like flinch and we're up to 2 volts. .4, that should be just fine. I want to bring it up to 1.6, but it should work at 1.4. Okay, so now I very gingerly, carefully. Oh yeah. So not only does that work to 7 hours now, but we're only using 70 milliamps. Oh. There we go. 70 milliamps. And so that's nothing. So one of these things at 70 milliamps, well, what's 1956? Let's say 1900 to be conservative. So 1900 divided by 70. So yeah, we have like 27 hours of runtime on one of these. And guess what? We're going to have 2 because I don't know how to control myself. So we're going to have like 2 days of continuous use on this. So that is going to be awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. Excelente. So yeah, bit overkill, but that's okay. Plus I can use these guys, I can use junk batteries, it doesn't really matter. Excellent. There will probably be a 24-hour stream at some point. Maybe not 24-hour, but 12-hour, a long one, because Gran Turismo has endurance races in it. And I want to do endurance races. Oh, I got an email. Apparently I went live. Clearly. Alrighty. So, Yeah, this is way overkill. But what's nice is the two are in parallel, so I could just run one battery at a time if I want to. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so now we know we need to hook the output of this to, basically we need to make a hole in here. We route the output wires through, and then they'll come to here eventually. So that's good. So our output needs to go into our dummy battery. So we know that for a fact. So the input wires here, these guys, they need to go onto my battery protection circuit. This guy, they need to go here, and the output of this. Do they line up positive and negative? They do not. This in? Yeah, they'll have to cross streams like that. So cross streams like so. Solder onto there. This has to go to the battery positive and negative, which would be this side. Okay, that's good. As for the backing, I kind of want this to fit flush on here. Hey Doug, if you're still in here, why is there a hole here that says mute? Do you plug something in there to mute it? I don't quite understand how that works. But I just realized this seems like it's meant to slide into like a belt holster or something. Right? So if I can design my thing to 3D printed thing to clamp onto here, and then the screw through here will just lock it, that should work just perfect. There's even these holes, which I believe are for detents, that like you can get this into a holster. Interesting. So brand new for this. It looks, if I look on the inside, it looks like a TRS jack or a TS jack. It will focus. See in there, little contact. It's weird. It's like a muting bar goes in there or something. But yeah, I should be able to design my design to slide up like this, and then the screw in here will lock it in position. Okay, it is for a clip. Okay, yeah, so that's good. These will go on. Yeah, it's just that weird mute thing I don't understand. And also, I don't know if you know, but why is there removable plastic here? Like, why would you ever need to remove this? Is it so you can replace it because the talent is hard on the equipment, or is it because there's a different screen that does something different? A remote mute switch. Ah. You like my cut nails? Beauties. Okay, so that's set already. We could even put a drop of hot glue on that, but I don't want to. Just in case we're going to make revisions. That can turn off to save some battery. We're actually going, it's going pretty good. So I feel like we should drill those holes out and put some hardware. But now the thing is, if I put holes through this way, like if I put screws in through this way, the nuts are going to show up on the back side. I don't really want that because this is supposed to hold together somehow. Maybe I could two-sided tape this together. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't have much of a choice. Let's see, do I have fasteners that are short enough? Actually, Velcro is a pretty damn good idea, but the only thing is I don't want to put an adhesive on the back here because I want my final design to be like sliding clip. And yeah, sorry about the focus, but yeah, not much I can do about that. Alright. So here's my screw collection. Can use these guys, but again, they're so long. I might just drip some hot glue through there and hope it holds. Alright. I think I'll do hot glue. Okay. Where can I plug my hot glue gun? Running out of plugs here. Let my hot glue heat up on the side. Right, should probably do some soldering now. Alright, so the two in, so there's the in positive, needs to solder kind of to here. And then this stuff I can two-sided tape, that's not a problem. I can two-sided tape or Velcro to this part here. Probably have to desolder these little lengths of wire, they're not long enough. You guys are getting a look into my my psyche here. This is how I prototype, just usually listening to a podcast. I think two of these is overkill, looking at how little current little transmitter uses, but oh well. Oh, the on-off switch. Almost forgot. That'll have to be held somewhere like here, but not in the way. I can put it like here though. Will it fit? If I glue it strategically, it'll fit like right here. Look at that, a little bit of space. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna blob some glue. That's pretty neat. I'll have my on-off switch here. That's good. Okay. There we go. Okay, so here's the in. The in positive is on this side. So we want to solder the in negative fairly tight. I want it pretty close. Maybe that was too close. Yeah, that was a little too short. That's okay. We'll see if we can pull it off. We'll solder it back on here. Ah, that wire got hot quick. No. All right. That should do it. Okay, pre-tin. I should be able to just solder this on. Oh no, I lifted too early. Okay, there we go. I can crisscross applesauce this one. And now the importance is I'm going to have to get it up a little bit higher. Yeah, so this side is fine. This side I can cut after. But now I need a piece that'll go from here and then up and around to my connector, or to my switch. So this one here, pre-tin. And then put this on here. There we go. And then this will also go to the switch. And pre-tin this one too. Pre-tin the switch connections. And there we go. Should be it. Okay, and now we should be able to hot glue the switch into place. So basically, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Let's see if I can angle you. Oh yeah, first of all, we want to smush some hot glue into these holes here. Good, some came out the other side. That's the goal. Oh, I melted the plastic. Didn't think this plastic was that weak. Never have I been so wrong. So just, basically this is just to reinforce the mounting points here, so that when you move things around, it doesn't put as much stress on the solder joints. There we go. Yeah, so the solder came out the back. The hot glue came out the back. So that means it did go through. That's good. And now, on the positive side, take these little whiskers out. So on the positive side, which is up here, also I like to mark these. Since it's easy to confuse the positive and negative, just use a white paint marker and just highlight the positive so that you know, and you can even make a bigger mark for positive so that you know positive is on that side. If you had a red paint marker, it would work even better. Okay, so now need to position this. You know what? I think I want to actually, I think I would want to glue this into place too, but I want to have access to these two solder pads here afterwards. Should I just go ahead and do this now? Yeah, probably just do it now. Just holding it in place here till the glue dries or solidifies. Velcro whack. She should start her own brand. Oh, no, it wasn't solidified yet. You make a blob like that, it takes forever. Come on, solidify. Put a little dab here. So how was everyone's day today, by the way? My day was pretty good. Students were a bit disappointed in their grades, but they only have one person to blame for that, really. This is cool. Why do I bother making 3D printed stuff if this stuff is like rapidly prototyped and it works? Alright, that holds. So now I just want to straighten this up a little bit. we go. Let that cool completely. And then we can fill up the other side here. I mean, this prototype is almost completely finished. Off today, working tomorrow, going to a haunted house with a friend later. Shall have fun, but it feels like an obligation at this point. Well, when you're an adult, you should never feel obligated to do anything, really. I guess except for work. You kind of got to do that. There we go. And then spread a bit of that glue. As long as it doesn't get in the way of the batteries going in and out, we should be good. I think that looks pretty good for a rough prototype. That's pretty cool. Can put some hot glue on the bottom of this after, because these are still mobile. So these can come out. I can still have access to all these things to solder. That's cool. Alright. Okay, we need to put some wires on the B plus and the B minus, and then we can just put it in the board here, and then we can just solder some wires on the board to hook up to these pads here, and then that's it. So we just link these two together, and then link the two with little wires, and that's it. Simple. So I changed my mind on this. I need some thinner wire, so I will get that solid core wire I have. Actually, do I want to do that? I also need to drill a hole down here so that we can go into wherever it is. So we can go into here. Probably do a better job soldering this wire too, this guy, the output. Oh no, lifted too early. Go. It does have holes in the bottom, so I could solder wires through the bottom to access down here. These things feel more solid. They do. Got some hot glue on the connections though. Hot glue is by far my favorite way to temporarily hold things together. Neat. I think what I should have done is put hot glue on this, stick the battery box to it, then fold over the tabs and then solder. That would have been a better idea. Actually, it's not too late. I can hot glue the sides here, sort of like so. There we go. Even more solid. There we go. Alright, so now we need 2 wires for the bottom. For basically connecting the 2 battery wires. And then that's it, really. Nothing much else needed. Oh yeah, the dummy battery. Huh. You're gonna have to figure that out at some point. Like, the negative is easy, because the negative, all you really need to do is you can just twist a wire around the spring here. That's not a problem. Positive will be a little bit harder, although I think there's some flex in this one. Oh, it's the whole contact that flexes. And I'm not sure how we're going to do that. I do have some battery adapters from AAA to AA. I can definitely use the contacts because they are connected. So they are connected. But the problem is, Doug, that I don't want to 3D print something today. I want this to work for whenever I need it. So I want to make a functional prototype so I can make so I can live with it and make changes, you know, later on, before the final version. So I need to find a way to make it work without that. And I also need wires. So I need to grab some wire, and I need to grab some, I need to grab the dummy batteries I have. And I'll show you what the options are at the moment. But first I'm going to fill up my coffee cup. Be right back. Alright, so I have these things somewhere in here. These things. So these things, they're adapters. You put a AAA in here and it fits into a AA holder. So, I mean, you could put a wire down there and solder onto that little pip, and that would be good to go. The only thing is that it doesn't have a back, because it's actually the back of the AAA that fits in there. So here's one. So the AAA goes in there, and you see it's actually the back of the AAA that fits. So that's not quite what I want to do, but this does give me a good shape in order to put into the CAD package and see. But again, this one is not really the problem, it's this one. That little pip. I have seen like a Canadian woodworker YouTuber. He basically used like a dowel. I do have a dowel, I don't know how big. Let me see. So yeah, pretty much like I thought. I have this size dowel and this size dowel. So this size, actually that's closer than I thought. It might be too big, but it might not. This might actually be the solution. This is 5/8 of an inch. How's it going, Mark? Oh, sorry. Let me try that again. Oh, hey, Mark. Cut a section of glue stick. I do like that idea. Let me see. My glue stick is underneath my laptop at the moment. That could work too. It's a little bit too narrow, but it's not bad. It's not a bad idea. So both those ideas are on the table. Be right back, just going to brew my coffee. I just heard it ding. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah, the glue stick is actually pretty close in diameter. I mean, it's too small, but if it fits in, it fits in. And the dowel is the same deal. It's a little bit too big, but if it fits, it fits. So I still need some thin wire. I do have some very thin wire. Looks like the hot glue held. Yeah, so that's a lot more solid. This ain't going nowhere. Good. And my switch, perfectly solid. Could put 2 little dabs of hot glue there. My hot glue got cold, that's okay. Alright. Got my assorted lengths of wire. How you been, Mark? I haven't talked to you in a little while. This is 18 gauge flexible wire. This heat shrink can go into here. What's this? I think this is also 18 gauge. Yeah, 18 gauge flexible wire. Nothing exciting is sometimes good, you know? Just regular. I think I have 22 gauge wire. Like I said, I haven't been in my workshop for quite a while. And this is my last week of work. So as of next week, I'm more or less unemployed. So I should have more time to do videos. But either way, like I started live streaming, so I could spend more time with you guys. So yeah, electronics live streams here. Gaming live streams on twitch.tv/simpleelectronicsyt. And yeah, mostly Gran Turismo 5 at the moment. And on this stream, it's whatever. I'm basically using this stream in order to get ready for other live streams, or other videos, I should say. So all the prep work that goes into making a video will be on this channel, basically. So let's see. This is 22 gauge. And I think this is 20, so we use these. We'll connect that up to the batteries there. And again, we need to drill a hole here, relatively big hole. I will do that. I guess I should do that before I get too far. There's some elections going on in the States, isn't there? Very soon. I think Doug and Mark are American. Yeah, we do need to line this up though. So put this together. I'm gonna put a dot where I think it should go. What about there? Early voting is open. Now, I don't really care who you're voting for. I'm just curious if you're voting. I used to not care when I was young, but I started caring in my older age. I guess that's what happens when you get older. starting next week. When I was young, I too didn't care. Boy, I learned my lesson about that. Well, like, yes and no. The thing is, without talking specifically about politics, I can definitely see how it's easy to get disillusioned and like not care about what politics is going on. But yeah, it just sucks because you constantly have to fight that feeling that your vote doesn't really matter sometimes. There we go. That should hold the switch in place now, big time. When I was young, the area I lived in voted one way and one way only. So it didn't really matter what I voted for, because they always voted a certain way. No matter what, like historically. Like you can check every single election swings the same way. But now, when we bought a house in a district where it kind of swings one way or the other, depending on the year. So now it really does matter when we vote. Go. Used a auto center punch here, so you just push down. I won't do it because it's gonna slam through my finger. It's got a little point at the end, and you push down, and it loads up a spring. And when you get to a certain point, it goes bam and smashes, and makes a little divot in whatever you've pressed it on, and that divot allows you to drill centered. Now, saying that, you're supposed to use a smaller drill than I am, so it's probably gonna walk anyways. Ow! Ow, that really hurt. Didn't draw blood though, that's good. Good thing I secured the battery boxes. Drew a little bit of blood. Tiny little bit. I'll be fine. So yeah, that went fairly well. Most important thing, did it dislodge my switch? Nope. Still good. Switch still in place. Have a deburring tool. Get the burrs out of there. There we go. Hopefully nobody is squeamish. Okay, so that's good. That should actually line up now. Go unplug the mic part. So I put this like this. Yeah, there we go. That hole lines up exactly back there. So we can run the wires up through here, and we can either use the piece of glue stick or the dowel. We'll decide when the time comes. Okay, that's good. Oh, you know what I'm going to attach this with? I'm going to put hot glue. That just makes the most sense, because I just rip it off like that. Well, that's easy. Okay, yeah, need some wire now. Short pieces of wire to connect up to the batteries. Maybe I'll just pick somewhere here arbitrarily and just link these two together and bring it down there. I do have strippers. I don't know, I'm not using them. There we go. Just need to link these two together so that the cells are going to be in parallel. Pre-tuning the wires like this makes it a little bit easier to solder. And I've definitely learned that easier is always better. Alright, squish this down. There we go. Nice, nice. And then, yeah, basically just arbitrarily going to pick a hole here and bring the wires there, maybe like here, and the red right beside. Just have to check what side's the out. The out positive is actually this side, so yeah, this one will come over here. And so, I don't know, maybe over here, kind of like that. Hope you guys are enjoying the kind of the relaxed nature of the stream. It's basically going to be what it's all about, you know. I usually do this kind of stuff off air, but I mean, it's a little bit easier to see that that I exist still when I'm available. Thanks, Mark. Me too. I love teaching, but it is a lot of frickin' work. And plus, I've got to make cool videos, put them on the internet. I'm also gonna do a lot of work on the teaching side. Gonna basically be making like basically tutorial videos, quite a few of them, mostly for the automotive stuff and for the electronics, like basics stuff. There we go. I'll show you what I got though. I didn't this is going to be exclusive for you folks here and whoever watches the VODs after. But I bought something to make my teaching videos a little bit easier. Got one of these guys on Prime Day, or before Prime Day. There's Prime Early Access sales. So yeah, I bought a pen tablet so I can make diagrams and stuff more easily. Especially because I think something that's really important is my electronics basics courses, because I feel like that's very important to learn the basics, and there's never too much of it. There's never enough of it. So I'm going to give my own spin on it, explain it my own way, and hopefully people who didn't understand it before come to understand it. And plus, if I'm looking at my statistics, my how-to and tutorial videos, they're the ones that do the best over time. Like my transistor video hit 500 views in a single 48-hour period the other day, which is pretty neat. So it was like 20-something thousand views, and the response is very positive on it. So basics like how-tos, beginner stuff, you know, going to be working on that kind of stuff. So like this. I also want to go out and have fun, so I'll be working on some of my remote controlled projects as well. It's starting to get cold though out there. It went below freezing one night already. However, it's going to be 20 degrees Celsius, like 72 or whatever, 68, 72. For you Americanos, it's gonna go that cold on that warm on Saturday. right. Pre-tin this ish. There we go. Then we want this over here. Trying to keep it one layer thick, not too thick. And then we want this maybe here. There we go. The back side is complete. So that's good. Now we just need a couple little wires on the front side, and they need to go between B plus and B minus, and I did this backwards, didn't I? I did definitely do it backwards. Oh well. Just gonna have to be what it is. So we need wires coming from here and here. Positive on this side, negative on this side, and they're gonna hook up to this guy, and that's it. I'm gonna set it down on a bed of hot glue, and away we go. So I hope no one was too squeamish there when I when I hurt my hand. There's only a couple of you in here anyways. 4 likes, 2 viewers at the moment. I wanted to stream on my main channel, but it is true that if you do it regularly, you will lose viewership for essentially no gain. So it is better to make another channel to stream on, and so that's why I'm here. Okay, that's one. Yeah, it is merely a flush rune. In my trade, we just call it the red Loctite. Oh. My laptop shut down. Why would you do that? You're plugged in. Bastard. I need a new laptop, but I'm avoiding it as much as possible. I use it for work at the college. But as far as this one works, I'm going to keep using it. Eventually, though, it will stop. It's a pre-Ryzen AMD, so I don't even know what year that is. When did Ryzen come out? Let's see. $2016. Really? Oh, Q1 2017. So when I bought this, it must have been the end of 2016 or beginning of 2017. It's before AMD had a resurgence. We really should have bought an Intel laptop, but it is what it is. This was the better deal at the time. Came with a backpack as well, which I still use. But yeah, now if you're buying anything mid-ranged, it should definitely be an AMD. The only thing is the one laptop that I am more likely to buy at the moment, B plus on this side, is a framework laptop. I don't know if you guys heard the company, but they are like 100% repairable. You can buy all your own replacement parts, do the work yourself. They released diagrams, basically everything you need to fix your stuff yourself. And so I want to encourage that kind of behavior. But they don't have AMD. They only have Intel laptops. Okay, and then positive goes over here. Getting finicky. This is where PCBs get really good, when you have a lot of connections to make. Just so much better for organization. Here. I did do that properly, right? Yeah. So red is on this side. Okay, yep. It's proper. Black's on the other side. Now we just need to slide this in here. I love how these modules fit just perfectly in here. Might have left the wires a little bit too long, that's okay. Jam that in here. So now I can just put a dab of hot glue underneath there, squeeze this in, and then squeeze this in over here, and then these two wires through here. That should be good. A little bit too much wire mess here, but that's okay. Like this I can even hot glue sort of up here, like that. And that one under here. Nice. Gotta get the hot glue gun. Alright, so hot glue gun is heating up. I have a little bit too long cable mess here, but that's okay. We will deal with it. Basically just like this. I'm going to hold that up against the top here. and then blob some hot glue underneath, and then squish it down gently, just so it holds there. It's perfect. And then this one, I'll just hot glue up along the top here. Also be perfect. So yeah, this thing's going pretty well. And we'll get two 18650s that have relatively similar voltages. Put them in here. Shouldn't catch fire. And that's off. Like that. That's good. Neat. Have you guys been watching Game of Thrones, the new one, House of the Dragon? I definitely have. My wife's been doing reaction videos to them, so we don't watch them together anymore. We used to watch them together for the first time, but when it comes out, she watches it on her own, records her reactions to it. I mean, she could fake it, but she's very legit. And then the next day or whenever, then we watch it together. So she watches it twice, I watch it once. Mind you, then she watches it again because she has to edit it. So yeah, she watches it way more than I do. Oh, nice, because yeah, you're on Vero's Patreon. So for those of you that want to watch the full thing, you can basically join Vero's Patreon. So it's twitch.tv, patreon.com/Verowak, VEROWAK, and she posts her full reactions. So if you time it right and you start at the same time as her, then you're basically watching with her. Johnny, I would say it's not like Game of Thrones, but valid concern. I would say it's pretty decent. I would watch it now more than before because I couldn't stand the fact that I have to wait every week. So I think in hindsight I really should have just waited till they were all out and then watched them all at the same time. And Mark, I feel you. So what's your entertainment then? Are you mostly on YouTube? I didn't want it to go that crooked. Oh, ow, the board is hot. YouTube, yeah. You read? What do you read, Mark? Mostly find Game of Thrones. The bad part is post. Decide who will I'm not sure what you said there, but I believe you. Gonna sort of tack this side down. Yeah, I think she's talking about Game of Thrones, not House of the Dragon. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, pretty much everyone refers to it as Game of Thrones now, too, because, I mean, they have the same music, they have the same feel. There we go. Take all these whiskers off. Yeah, yeah. I didn't like the fact that the battles were dark. I don't think that was a. I mean, I understand it was probably an artistic choice. I didn't, not one that I cared for, at least. It was very hard to see what was going on, and especially like people who didn't have like properly tuned TVs and stuff. Oh yeah, true. Vero read The Expanse and she said it was really good. Which fiction, if you don't mind me asking? I actually don't remember. Okay, this side is positive here. All right, shove these through the hole. Should really have used two different color wires, shouldn't I? Oh well. Try to get these in the hole. So there we go. Through the hole. Now I should be able to put that through the transmitter. So that should work just fine like that. And then I can already reach where I need to go. So that is going to be pretty neat. I could just hot glue these two together because hot glue is great. You can just peel it right apart. Just maybe not on the label here, but you can put a big dab like here, 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 and here, and stuff it on there. So this is the positive end here. That's on the negative side, so I need to flip them around. So now they should be in their right places. I think I'm gonna test it first, make sure it works, and then basically good to go. What are the odds this doesn't catch fire? Who's got odds for me? Here it goes. Okay, so far so good. So we'll hook up here, and we'll test the voltage coming out. Asimov, okay. Foundation series, not sure what the foundation is. Okay, so first and foremost, let's just check the battery voltage is proper. Okay, voltage DC. 4.2, this is a charged battery, and should be the same over here. Let me poke, yeah, 4.2, should be the same here. Yeah, 4.2. Okay, so the battery is going well. This thing should have no voltage on it because we're off. That is correct. We have nothing. Here it goes. I'll turn around so you can see if it sparks. No sparks. This should still have 4.2 volts. Yep. And now $1.7, a little bit high, but that's okay. Okay, and we can turn this off, and now these are safe. Let's see, it should have discharged. Yeah, 0. Good. Excellent. Okay, so this goes on like this. And so I think it works enough that we can hot glue these together. I think that should be fine. Alright, some big globs come in. Oh, I don't have enough glue to use this one. Again, I'm using hot glue here because it's reversible. I can remove this and it'll look factory standard. There we go. So that's good. Hot glue bonds just enough. So it'll hold together, and I'll put it like a strap around it or something. And then it's easily reversible. You can peel it off. Excellent. Just let that set. Now I've got a lot of glue there, so it'll take a little bit to set. So this I can actually just put right on the negative here. You can strip more of this wire and like twist it around, so that's not too bad. This I might be able to do something with. I have these little magnets. I wonder if the contact is magnetic. It's lightly magnetic, so if I trusted it, I could just put this in between the wire, but I don't want it to like knock itself loose. Being patient, not moving this. But yeah, this you can literally just shove in there. Actually, there's actually parts of the coil you could probably just shove that in, and it would be just fine. It's this one here, but I almost feel like you can just like press this contact away from the plastic and shove the wire, or maybe even shove the wire in here. You know what I mean? Like up here, you see that contact right there? You could probably shove it in there. just feel like you could just jam it up there. But I don't think it'll be a reliable connection. And this is what I mean, that you could just use like a worn, like let's say this AA. I don't even know how much voltage in this AA. If it's empty though, yeah, 1.420. If you had a dead AA, you can tape the ends and just use it as a spacer. So if I do end up having a dead AA, oh, that's a good one. Then I can do that. You need to tape the ends though, because if it you don't want it to conduct electricity. 1.2 is good, especially not if you're boosting to like 1.7 volts. Man, how many like dead AA's did I have that I probably recycled already? Yeah. No bueno. Small section of flat metal, I do not. And I have heard about the bouncing thing. I think that was actually proven. I think that's actually very true. Use a fuse. Kind of close. Have these old suspension pins from the snow speeder. And again, you know, I can 3D print something. I'm just trying to avoid 3D printing. I want it to be done. Because if I go and design something in CAD, it's going to take me a while. We do have the dowel though. So we can cut a length of dowel. We do also have this, which we can use. So the only thing is that this whole contact moves and it's recessed. I can cut this pretty tight. I do like the idea of using this. I'm almost out of electrical tape. Not much left. Yeah, I guess it's gonna be this. I think this works the best. Solder the ends to nickels. I think dimes would need to be the ones that fit in there. I don't even know if I have dimes kicking around here. Who has change these days? I know my old man has change. He's old. Like this could work too. But again, there's no back, but I could put a piece of tape there, and I do like this because it has a pip. So like this, close off the end of my adapter, and then kind of jam this in here. So I guess I have to kind of jam this inside the spring. Actually, let me just confirm that my polarity is proper. So we want positive, negative. Correct. Okay. Alright, so this I want, give it a little bit of a bend. Sort of like this. And then I want to jam this in there. So I kind of want to be inside the coils of the spring here. And then this guy will just have to sit kind of here. Okay, and let's see. Like this. That wire is not touching. The positive one is not touching, I don't think. So either way, whatever I use to space it won't be simple. Because it's like impossible. Like hold it in place while you crush it. I really would have loved to solder something on. I could, like, you know what, this spring, it won't be the end of the world. I could touch it with some solder. Because the spring won't stop contacting just because I put a bit of solder on it. I don't know if the solder will stick, but I can try. And same thing with this. If I just jam it in the middle there, I don't think it'll make that much difference. Yeah, something wide and flat like dimes. I do have an idea. Turns out I have no idea where it is. I was thinking of getting aluminum tape and just putting aluminum tape on on a piece of plastic. How's it going, Big Z? The chassis might be connected to negative. So the chassis, this is actually plastic. No chassis. Yeah, this is completely plastic, so no metal chassis. I'm also being kind of difficult because, again, I could solve this with 3D printing, but the thing is I don't want to. Take hours to print. No. Fuses. Trying to look what kind of stuff I have. Could literally just use piece of PCB and then have to jam something in between still, but still I can make a bump for the positive as well, but I have to make such small pieces. The pack? No, this is plastic. This is plastic, everything's plastic. So yeah, this could work, but I would need some metal shears to cut small enough, or, you know, bring it into the other room and Dremel. And I don't really feel like dremeling. I'm gonna make a lot of dust. No idea how to maintain my laziness and get this to work. Let me see, I'll try one more thing. Well, never mind, couldn't find it. Let's see, what else? Surely there's more cylindrical devices here. Oh, I do have battery contacts. I have literal battery contacts. So you put the spring end this way, and you put the flat end kind of this way, then all it's really missing is to jam anything in between. So that is a solution. Then yeah, just literally any, like this will do fine, perfectly fine. Okay, so that's good. Good thing I'm a hoarder, huh? I just grabbed these out of a toy that I scrapped. Alright, Doug, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Saves me from talking to my shadow. So yeah, this, I mean, if this goes in here, right, like that, and that goes in there, this is ideal. There's actually nothing better than this. So it's perfect. Thanks. I'm going to be ending in about half an hour or so, maximum. Need to start dinner. Okay, twist this together like so. I'll laugh if I turn this on and it pops the this thing blows up because 1.7 volts is too high. Can adjust it before I do that though. Is still in frame? I think so. Kinda. That should fit perfectly down in here, and it does. Excellent. Like so. Okay, and then I'm gonna kind of shove this over here so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay. So this can plug down on there. Alright, so let's just make sure polarity is okay again. Then view, yep. Okay, so this should be positive. I'm gonna jam it in here. And this should be negative. So I'll turn this on. Yeah, 1.68. I think the voltage will be okay. It is in the correct polarity. All right, now we can even use this to space it. It actually doesn't matter. It has to just be spaced out, that's all. Oh, except, yeah, it's a little bit too wide now. It's a little bit too big. Needs to be a little bit smaller. Which is fine, because we do have the dowel, we do have the glue stick. Just need some scissors for the glue stick. Say like that long. Too long still. Let's make it a little bit shorter. Still too long, a little bit shorter. Okay, try to jam this in. Use a little bit of a screwdriver. Just kind of compress the spring. So it doesn't want to stay in, but I think once the lid is on it, it should be fine. There we go. So let's see if it works now. To 6 hours of runtime. So that now should be functioning. I'm just going to go turn on the unit. My mixer is off, so it shouldn't cause any issues. It is picking it up. So I do believe this is functioning. It's only going to take tiny amounts of current, so this one battery should last quite enough time. Has charge, discharge. That's it. I think we got it. This is completely solved. So how long did this stream take? Almost 3 hours. And we got it done. And so that's pretty exciting. Maybe a little bit of tidying to be done with the wires here. But job done. What do you guys think? Do you think that was a worthwhile cause? And these this holder holds really tight, so I'm not worried about this falling out. I am worried about this coming apart. It is only hot glued together, but I will like strap it. Neat. It works. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the module is still picking it up in 6 hours. and all I have to do is I can charge it through here. I wonder if I can charge while it's in use. Can you guys see that? Let's see here. I've been wanting to do this, so I was thinking of actually just putting, you know, a bunch of AA's in parallel behind it, but this is a way better solution. 18650s, I can have like 8 of them charged, like even if they didn't, the capacity wasn't great, right? I could have just had all sorts of, oh, maybe I won't use any metal on exposed, on the exposed side. Just trying to prop it up so you guys can see. Can use PCB. One of my unreleased PCBs. Okay, so there we go. I can plug my charger in here, and let's see if we can charge these things while I stream. Yeah, I saw the light come on, so it's still working. This is still working, still showing 6 hours. And if you look under there, little red charge light is on. So this thing works perfectly. And on top of that, I bet you anything, it's using barely any current. So I bet you that the cell in here still has like basically a full charge. It's right now it's being used, so it's draining, but I bet you even while draining, it still has a full charge. I'm actually curious. I might just leave this on overnight and see how long it lasts. And then for the next stream, basically you guys will be following me around because I'll just have this pinned to my shirt and we can go as far as the range lets us. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. 4.19. So it's barely using any current at all. And if I find it drains the battery too fast, then I can always put a second one in parallel. This is awesome. So just need to spin up a quick PCB. I might do that on next week's stream. Spin up a quick PCB. Job done. So it'll be a lot more pretty, and people can make their own battery eliminating circuits with the use of my PCB. You'll be able, I'm going to release it for free. Just need to order more of these TP4056 boards with the protection, and I'm golden. And you see, this is why I like having parts around, because I have an issue, I solve my issue. Flat battery, yeah, you can get a, I mean, it would be nicer, but I think my goal is to use these 18650s because they're recycled. You can just grab them out of wherever. Old battery packs and stuff, because even though this one has like 1900 milliamp hours, right, and this guy here, it has also 1900 milliamp hours. The thing is, this has 1900 milliamp hours at 1.2 volts nominal. This one here has 1900 milliamp hours at 3.7 volts nominal. So this thing has like 3 times the amount of energy in it than this does. So even if you could use this all the way down, it won't last, it'll last a third of the amount of time as this one, which is pretty neat. And this is still pocket sized. That's freaking awesome. I can't believe I managed to do this. Like, I just, I had something in my mind and then I went and I did it. And the best part is, I have a little solar panel in my window. I can essentially stream electricity free Mind you, the other thing is connected to the mains, but like I could charge this for free by just putting it at the window solar panel. Pretty freaking neat. And so I think that's it for the stream today, though. Really appreciate you guys coming down and hanging out, stopping me from talking to my shadow. I'm gonna go and make some lasagna now, homemade lasagna, and so hopefully it'll be ready for Vero when she's done her whatever she had to do tonight. Probably editing, knowing her. And yeah, thanks a lot for hanging out. If you want to support me, you can check the links in the description, but that's not necessary. These streams are always going to be free, so just subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good one.